All right, we're here. Aye.
Let's just call what's alive in the moment, bro.
Okay.
Just do half an hour. Just
Let's channel to working through frustration.
Yeah. Well, it's probably there's the start, brother.
That is the
there
start.
You go. We're
this
just
is us right here,
working through life. You know,
the life's challenges, the struggles, the learning of new things, and going to things you have no idea what you're doing.
God, we're doing a lot of that right now. You know, just constantly. And in our Rape session this morning, what dropped into me, and I think I said it to you, it was the depths of the challenges in your life are offerings for you to go deeper into yourself.
I like that. It's deep. It's wisdom right there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, been going through lots of challenges, always there in life, but you know, I'm really, it truly is a feeling that it's such an offering for you to be able to start pulling that thread, start to be able to follow that challenge, work on yourself to be able to overcome challenges, and ultimately it's going to deepen your own self and heighten your own sense of your higher self.
Well, it's like you can look at any adversity as either something that's happened to you or an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
An opportunity to learn something new, an opportunity to challenge yourself in either a deeper way or a new way. And I suppose that's just what we've been through realistically. Like the challenges of putting together a podcast is one of the most important things, seems to be audio. And just learning that process, learning how to get things connected, having something work and then it just randomly stop and you trying all of these different things. And like I was feeling frustrated because there's things to do after this. There's time frames between different things, and those time pressures just get to you.
Yeah, they do. It's the complete unknown, right? It's, are you ready to completely step into the unknown? Because there's no safety in the unknown. You can create safety for yourself, but there's still no safety in the unknown. Because it's the unknown.
Well, it's getting used to feeling uncomfortable.
Correct.
It's getting used to and conditioning yourself to it. You know, the first time you go into anything, there's going to be a level of discomfort, but it's whether or not you rise to the occasion or let it affect you.
Yeah, it brings up a memory of last summer when I was living down at the Mount. Obviously had the lockdowns and things here in Auckland. I escaped and got a beach house down there for a couple of months, and I thought, I'm going to try something new. And so I started. I took some lessons in kiteboarding, kite surfing, and you start with the kite, and you know you progress through the company that I work with. They were really good. But when it came time to actually start getting on the board, I had a couple of fits out in the water, and it was really interesting to watch, you know, because
I can only imagine.
It was just like slam in the water, fuck, and then inside me I just wanted to blame the instructor, you know, he was Brazilian and his English wasn't that good, I just wanted to find that as a blaming, you know, like, and then, you know, I didn't project any victim or blame onto him or anything. It was just a pure reaction because I just wasn't getting it, you know. And then when I did get it, I wouldn't get it, and it was that brought that funny memory up actually.
Well, and it happens all the time, right? Like it's these things, all these situations that we put ourselves in, or it's just the life frustrations, you know, the little things that your partner might say or not do, or anything. That for me is actually one thing that's probably still, well, it's the biggest trigger for me, and the biggest thing that brings me frustration is when someone says they're going to do something and doesn't do it. It's just like, I'm just like, oh. And every time, it's even if it's just little things or it's really, really big things. And it wasn't actually till we were sitting with Rape last week where I went to work and it was just a day and just all these things just didn't go as I expected them to go or wanted them to go or needed them to go or thought they should go. And it was all because there were certain people that just didn't do things that they said they were going to do. And I was like, man, why am I just feeling so, like, why is this getting to me? Like, it doesn't, none of it really matters. And sitting with Rape, and it was just like that. It was just, she just gave me those words. When people don't do what they say they're going to do, it just brings frustration.
Do you do everything that you say you're going to do?
No, I don't think anyone does. I tried to figure out. Of course I do, I'm perfect.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And don't come at me on this podcast, mate.
Oh, that's exactly why we're here.
Well, that's it. No, definitely not. No.
So do you get frustrated at yourself then?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, that's a huge thing for me, especially in the last few months of just truly owning my word to my actions and deep commitment in the little things as well as the big things. Deep commitment to what I'm going to, and we don't always get it right, you know, like, at the end of the day, I might get a bit like, oh shit, you know, like I did say I was going to do that and I didn't, and you know, or you know, our days are just getting so frantically busy, you know, like from wake to sleep, and there's something that's filled in, you know.
We've got the support to get us through now with these supplements we're creating. Well, this is actually the first podcast we've actually taken the focus blend.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm feeling sharp as fuck. Definitely, that's right.
It feels good, people. Feels good.
Oh, it feels really good. And that's why we can just pull the thread, you know, just create in the moment. It's just here. It's just a hyper awareness, you know. It's there. But that's, yeah, as I say, that's definitely something that that I'm holding myself more and more to. And you've got to have your pillared people around you who can pull you up on that shit too.
Yeah.
You know, because we'll ultimately let ourselves get away with more than what others will. But you've got to have that. It's done for love, and it's trust, and it's security, and it's you know, because and it's a way to bring it up with someone too.
Yeah. Well, because the people, if you have these people around you that you trust and know are going to pull you up for certain things, then you know that when they do, it's not out of spite or a want to pull you out or hurt you. Realistically, it's just so that you can be better, and they can support you in being better.
Ultimately, it's always about being better. Surround yourself with people who want you to be better, who will call you on your bullshit, but then they will give you a big hug, big kiss, tell you they love you. You know, it's that all encompassing. It's choose your tribe, create your tribe.
Yep.
You know, and as you know, if you're on the deep inner work journey now, or you're not, or you start getting into it, at every level, people will start dropping from your life as you start to move through your own stuff. You know, and that's a big thing, you know, for most people, because most people will hold on to things based off. I mean, how many times have we spoken to someone, rebirthing, breathwork, just general conversation, whatnot, and you know, you and I are pretty good at just questioning, you know, just curious, you know, and you ask them about their network, you know, oh, yeah, I've got friends from school, friends from here. Okay, great. Are they supporting your life? Are they, you know, are you guys helping each other have better lives, or whatever? Or are you mirroring each other and then working through it? Oh, you know, we go out and have beers on the weekend and things like that. And okay, great. No worries. Well, where do you want to be in your life? Well, I want to do this, this, and this. Okay, great. Well, these people helping you get there. Oh no, but they're my best friend. Okay, well, tell me why. Well, I've known them since I was 10. So okay, well that's a familiar reason, you know, it's a comfortable reason because somebody's known you through that. And, you know, every layer we shed energetically as well. We shed physically, we shed everything, you know, and sometimes that is people too. And that's a big pill to swallow.
Yeah, it reminds me of something that Aubrey Marcus talked about when he was... when you had all the people from Fit for Service on a podcast, and it was about the idea of surrounding yourself with people who you would share, you like openly share your deepest, darkest, most spiteful truths that you have about yourself and the things that you say to yourself, and they'll support you through it.
Well, yeah. Who would you show your journal to? How many people in your life would you show your journal to?
You.
Oh yeah,
and Venusia.
Yeah, brother, 100%. Yeah. But I think you get to a point as well where you're just owning all your shit too. You know.
Yeah. I guess when you're doing that, you're allowing yourself not to be a victim to it, or allowing yourself to be afraid of the things that we tell ourselves. Yeah.
And it's a bit of a paradox. But yeah, I would open my journal to you, open to Van. There are a few other people that I also need to be like, absolutely, there you go. Because what I write and what I speak are very the same things. I mean, there is some extra depth what I'm trying to pull out in the morning as I'm journaling and things like that, you know. But it's all very in the moment, and it helps me just kind of process. But, you know, for all you listening out there, how many people in your life would you open up your most private thoughts, writings to? And if it's zero, well, you need to take a hard look at the people you've got surrounding yourself and how you're showing up and the life that you want to create for yourself.
Yeah, ultimately, that's it. So I guess we started this by talking a little bit about frustration and the frustrations that we were working through before this podcast. So I suppose, what do you think some tools are for people to take away when it comes to working through their own frustrations in life?
Well, I came home randomly frustrated, 3 days ago? So for you listening, Ryan and his beautiful partner Van and I all live together in this big beautiful house here in the North Shore in Auckland, and it's a portal. So when we say we come home, it's we're all we run our business from here, podcast, everything. So so I came in from work the other night, it was only a few nights ago, and for whatever reason, I just had this frustration in me.
A human moment.
It was a very human moment. I came in and I was just feeling it. And what did? We sat down. Well, firstly I shared it. I said, oh man, I'm feeling frustrated, So we sat down, we had it up, and we got this beautiful medicine drum that got gifted to me, and had the shaker, and had it up, you just went and got those, and we just played. We just played, and we roared and we hummed and allowed me to move through that, and just drummed. I mean, I've been drumming since I was a kid, I love drumming. But it was a beautiful moment, of brotherhood that I shared it, you felt it, you saw it, we've had it. And so I guess what I'm moving into is it's just kind of the expulsion of it, because it's a very physical energy, the frustration, right?
It's heavy, it's dense, it sits in the body, it sits in the chest.
It is, but the work here is to not expel these heavy energies in a toxic way. It's how can you expel it in a way? Well, man, we took our shirts off, we had it up, we sat in brotherhood, drummed, and we roared, through the drumming. So that's what allowed me to kind of move through that. So for people listening here, actually it all started out when we grabbing a pillow and actually just screaming into a pillow, just roar it out. So there are many things you can do for tools here. It's if you're out on the road, somebody frustrates you, you can just do some breaths. You can, shut your windows, give it a loud roar in the car. You could laugh at it. You could change your state and just go, oh, I see that. It's nothing to, I see you. Have a laugh. You could, tell someone about it, because once you start voicing it, then it doesn't have any, more power over you. So there's many things you can do. You don't have to sit in a meditation and drum a drum and start doing some roaring and have it up there.
I suppose for me personally, and just knowing and sort of acknowledging my own journey to get to this point where I'm a lot more, have a higher emotional IQ and understanding of emotions, is firstly just acknowledging it, acknowledging that that you're not feeling okay, or you're not feeling calm, you're not feeling relaxed, you're not feeling in like a neutral state, and then I guess unpacking and trying to understand where it came from. Okay, I'm not feeling okay, I'm feeling frustrated, I can feel tightness in my chest. Okay, 2, just ask yourself, where did this come from? Where's this emotion actually coming from? And then just giving yourself an opportunity to unpack it. So it might just be writing it down, writing down in your journal. You can just start with, I'm feeling frustrated, and just let the pen flow, and you'll be surprised with what actually comes up. It's like the amount of times I sit down to journal having no idea what's going to come up is more often than not.
But that's the way to attack it, though. I say it's the way to move into it, right? Because now you're not creating a preconceived notion of what you're trying to tell yourself, right? You're not trying to manipulate yourself and I'm going to do that. And look, you could be sitting going, oh, cool, I'm going to now diarize into or journal into this theme that's rolling. But yeah, the more you can kind of hit a blank piece of paper with a blankness, I guess, and just start writing and just see what comes through. It's a good start.
Yeah, and then I think once you can identify it, once you can understand maybe where it comes from, probably ask yourself, why? Why does this thing trigger me? Why does this thing make me frustrated? All right, what is it that has potentially either happened to me in the past, or I'm not doing that's actually making me frustrated. Because, I mean, quite often the people that are surrounding us, the things that trigger us, are actually mirrors, right? They show us the things inside of ourselves that are actually frustrating us.
They do. Everything's a relationship, right? Everything's a relationship. And relationships are our mirrors. You know, choose your mirrors.
Choose your mirrors wisely.
Are you going to be staring at a black mirror, or you know that what's that show? Is it Dark Mirror? Black Mirror? You know where it's the it was on Netflix, and
is it Black? I think it's Black Mirror.
I think it's Black Mirror. Yeah. It's really twisted kind of future. Yeah. Dystopian type things, but it runs with a really thread theme of like closing. You could stare into that mirror, or you could just stare into the mirror of yourself while someone's just holding it to you strongly and sternly, but with love.
Love. Oh, that's it. What else are we talking about?
We're just creating the moment here, brother. You know, we had it all planned out and we had to change the whole plan. You know, I'm really enjoying it actually. Just flow with us, listeners.
Flow with us. That's it. You know, sometimes you don't know what you're going to say, but you'll be surprised with what comes out.
Yeah. A teacher of ours who we worked with, Atlas. You know, he was amazing at that. About just creating in the moment, right? Searching for that aliveness, seeking for it,
finding the thread and just pulling at it, and seeing what happens. And if nothing happens, move on to the next thread.
Yeah.
You know? And if something does happen, well, then just keep going with it, keep rolling with it, pull in your own way, and match if someone else pulls back.
Yeah, it's an exchange of offering, and if you got the offering and the exchange is there and it's met, you know, because we all like to be met, you know, in every way, you know, we all have needs. It's just understanding those needs, and how do you want to be met, you know, and that constantly evolves as well, you know. There's God. The transition that we've gone through in the last little bit, it's unreal, and I can see my needs and everything have completely changed just in the space of complete ownership and diving deep into the depths, and it's incredible. I truly love it.
How do you feel your needs have changed? What were they before, and what do you feel like they are now?
I think more in the context of intimacy. Intimacy and intimate relationships. The learnings I have dived so deep into in the last little bit have just truly opened me up to what I was blocking, what I was not seeing, you know, the makeup of myself from my childhood, you know. I dived headfirst into so many things, and relationships was something that I just always winged it, you know, and now I'm going into it, and I refuse now to ever be blindsided again by myself. Refuse to. And so that is a driver for me right now, to just truly learn the way of how to relationship, I guess, in intimacy, in divine union, in kingship and queenship, but also in friendship, you know, all the ships, you know, and with yourself.
It's ultimately allowing yourself to know yourself deeper, to know who you are unconditioned, right? Because the beliefs that you had before that were conditioned beliefs.
They were, yeah. And so you asked me what needs have changed. Well, I now know that I want more touch, more intimacy, more sacredness, more union, more divine, you know, all of it, you know, the depths are unfathomable. I want the depth. I want as deep as I can go. And then I want to go deeper and explore, you know. I had a really powerful weekend this weekend, actually. So me and my mum's relationship has been very, very strained for many years, and I've done a lot of mother wound work, you know, on my own, and you know, through various modalities for over the years, and I finally got to a stage where I was like, I'm ready now to tackle this true, what would you say, shadow. Yep. And so, I flew down on Friday night to go see her, and she's getting engaged, and it was an impromptu engagement party with a new partner there, and it was beautiful to witness in that. And then the Saturday came, so I stayed there, and Saturday came, and we just dove in. It was so powerful. We went in. She's had a lot of trauma and abuse since her birth. I knew some of it, but didn't know the extent, and we just truly opened so beautifully and open. And she was, without going too deep into details, so she was ripped away from her mum at birth, put in an orphanage for 5 years. She was fostered out in the foster system in the 60s for a couple of years, got adopted, and then just full abuse till she was 18. And so it makes sense of how she shows up, how she has, and all of her things. But the full day that I got with her, I am so ever grateful for it. The depths of the openness and the vulnerability and the space that I got to hold for her, and the deeper I understood her story, the deeper I understood about myself. And it was so amazing. And ultimately I ended up I offered her an invite for me to be a Rebirth Breathwork her, and she accepted. And I offered her an invite for us to sit down and have an update together first, and she accepted. And profound. It was so beautiful to be able to hold that space and that masculine energy and that softness in my feminine flow for my mum to reconnect at such deeper levels, so I can help her kill those past trauma programs that reside in her, and ultimately as well for her to be able to be in this beautiful new relationship, in this partnership that she's gotten into, while she's killing these old repeated patterns so they don't show up anymore, and it was so much strength in her.
And also giving her an opportunity to connect deeper with you, to connect with you.
Oh, absolutely, yep. The offering was there, and she accepted it, and so I accepted it too. And so I came back with such a full heart. I was so soft, and as I was working through my death portal through these months, you told me a quote that an oak tree can't grow with rotten roots, and that's so true. So I'm on the mend. I'm on the mend with the relationships I've avoided, with family, with myself, with life. Truly committing, and it's stepping up. It's stepping up, not only for me but for the collective.
Yeah, stepping up for those around you, allowing yourself and giving opportunities for other people to go a little bit deeper and understand themselves a little bit more as well. And I think that is something that we often miss, because there isn't always the opportunity to go deeper. There isn't always the opportunity for people to ask questions. There's that idea that things have to stay surface level. And that ultimately goes back to what we were talking about before when it comes to relationships and friendships, right? You want to know your friends. You don't want to just hang out with them. You want well, I suppose this is for me personally. I want to know my friends. I want to have deep conversations, because it gives me the opportunity to actually know them and for them to know me, and it's not just another passing.
No. I very rarely do small talk anymore.
No.
There are instances
where you
have to, and that's part of the human experience, and some politeness, but I'll always still try and push it a bit, otherwise I just switch off. I just switch off now. I daze around. It's not a rude thing. I want more from people, and if they're not willing to give it, well then that's okay.
Do you think that, I suppose even tying that back to open world theatre and the work with Atlas, do you think maybe in those moments it's actually an opportunity for you to just play into the scenario and sing, or do you think that's a loss of self?
No, I definitely do play. I definitely do play in scenarios with people, for sure. because that ultimately is a state change as well. You know, can you ask somebody a question that in amongst their, hi, how are you? What do you do? What's your name? You know, we were at a funeral, 2 weeks ago. One of our best friends' father passed away, and we were there, and we're doing the coffee and teas and cakes and things afterwards. And you know, it's a very heavy energy, you know, at a funeral, especially the westernized style of funeral. You know, like it's
no real celebration of life.
No.
Well, there was dancing around, there was singing, it was actually,
it was
beautiful.
exactly. Yeah, it always is as it is. But you know, you and I sit at the table, and you know, this guy comes over and, hey, how you doing? Rah rah, you know, and it was just very surface. And I just said to him, so, what do you feel about death? And you can literally see his body just jolt, you know. But it was said with openness and the ability. It's an invitation, and then he actually started going into it. And it's just the permission, right? When you are just open and curious is the key, right? It's curiosity, because I'm really curious, like, about people. I'm curious about.
I want to understand them. I want to understand them on a deeper level than just.
Correct.
So you go into it with curiosity, and then it can either be pushed back or it can be met with curiosity as well. Be like, hey, I'm actually going to explore this question.
And that's ultimately creating, you know, the safety within yourself. You know, with your ability to just show up as you. You know, you've done lots of work on killing your people pleaser and all that sort of stuff, and so you're able to just do that. And so when you have those people, you just feel them, right? You just feel them, and when they can speak, it's just like, cool. I'm going down this, you know. And so I love to just show up like that for people, you know, in every facet. You know, how are you? Okay, great. Hold on. How are you? You know, I see a bit of tension in your body, you know, and so this is where you sharpen your ability to just read people, you know, on a loving basis, you know.
No, totally, I get that, and it's it's just another way to explore the human condition, you know.
Always exploring, brother.
Always exploring.
Beautiful. Short and sharp today.
Short and sharp today. So we do have to wrap it up. We do have to wind it down. We do have to move this thread into something else.
You're actually going to go do a rebirth right now.
I am about to go do
Got a rebirth client coming through.
Should be knocking at the door any moment.
I'm sure as soon as we finish the podcast, we'll get a knock.
Yeah.
It will happen.
It's the way life happens.
I'm going to go out and do my 45-minute outdoor training session, my second one for the day. And we'll rock and roll from there. All right, beautiful people. Thank you so much for listening. We love you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for enjoying us pull at threads and seeing what happens.
Yeah, and thank you for listening to us natter about things. Shoot.